Hello, so I am here to discuss the absorption rates report that I just completed on our website, dwellsouthjersey.com. Just going over a review of what's been happening here as we move from the second quarter, the end of the second quarter, or actually into the end of the second quarter from the end of the first quarter. What kind of changes happened in the market? What kind of changes happened with regards to inventory, the rate of homes that sold, and finally, just how fast the market's moving, right? So a while back, I had shared with Facebook in a group that's determining the expectation and how long a home's going to stay on the market and how quickly it's going to sell doesn't necessarily have to be a difficult process to understand. It's a matter of understanding the rate at which homes are selling in a particular market, meaning how many are selling per month. And then looking at exactly what homes are available on the market that you're competing against as a seller, right? As long as you position your home so that you are among the best values that are currently on the market at the time, then you're greatly increasing your opportunity to sell in 30 days, 60 days, whatever the time frame is that you're looking for. So as we look at this backdrop, I'll explain the whiteboard that's behind me here and also go through some details. I'm going to share my screen and show some of what I've been referring to. So in this slide, I basically want to explain what's happening in the market, what's the methodology of this absorption report that we're sharing, right? And so two numbers are important, one of which is the current inventory. These are the number of currently active homes that are available here in South Jersey as a whole. Our report aggregates data for single-family homes together with condominium homes only. So these are single-family residential dwellings, a single-family residence, a one-family condominium. We're not including multifamily, commercial, or land listings from this particular study. Secondly is the rate at which the amount of inventory that's available in a particular given market. So this is how many homes are selling per month, and then we simply divide how many homes are selling per month by the total number of active listings, telling us how long it would take for that inventory to sell out if no additional listings came onto the market during that time. So, and then below in the bar graph that you can see on the screen, right, when we have a market that has less than 6 months supply, like 3 months, 4 months, 5 months supply, we historically speaking have more of a seller's market, which also is indicative of the fact that prices will have a tendency to start to rise. A neutral market, as is explained, would be apparent when we have a market that has between 6 and 7. And in our market locally, I would even venture to say maybe more like 7 or 8, or a little more than 8 months supply, only because we still have a lot of distress. And sometimes we have higher inventories of homes that are in distress that have been on the market a little bit longer. So when we see absorption rates or month supply in the 6, 7, 8 month range, we feel like we have a pretty balanced market. Home prices tend to stay relatively stable. And then when we have when we have month supply that are going to be greater than, say, 8 months, 9 months, 10 plus, then we have more of a buyer's market. Prices have a tendency to depreciate over the long term if that doesn't change, factoring in some normal seasonality. So I'm going to move on to another page here. So here we have, we're taking a look at basically what the absorption rates are over the course of, currently. And then behind me, like I said, I broke down just so we can kind of see where trends are, because the market's changed. It's changing rapidly, right? These are numbers in every single town virtually in South Jersey that were double digit not that long ago. So the market's improved pretty dramatically. You can see, for example, Linwood at 11.7 months supply. Back in April was 13.6, right? Northfield down to 5.6 months back in April was 6.1 months supply. Summers Point, Absorption, Pleasantville, Egg Harbor City, Egg Harbor Township, Galloway, Hamilton, Malka, Hamilton, every single town. Hamilton has been relatively stable, but just about every other town has seen a dramatic decrease in inventory and a great improvement in terms of what's happening in our line of seller's market, neutral market, buyer's market. Everything is shifted pretty much to being, pretty much in a balanced market type of a position. So that's something that's exciting that we're happy to see locally, and certainly showing some signs for improvement in the market. As we move into some of the shore communities, we can see here the numbers are a little bit higher, right? Still showing improvement, still showing increases or decreases in total inventory. So homes are starting to sell a little bit faster. Days on market is starting to improve. We still have a lot of inventory in some of those markets, even though the number of sales has been like greatly outproducing the last year. There's still a lot of inventory that's been lingering over the last couple of years. A lot of new construction inventory that's come onto the market. So just a lot of competition that market has to work with. But still, that being said, we're starting to see it become very competitive. Ocean City, the forerunner in terms of that market's been on fire now for a good couple of years. But in general, a greatly improving market. As we move along, as I like to say in a lot of the reports that I'll aggregate, but then there's more, right? So I've been talking for a long time about the fact that we have a really, really segmented market, right? Meaning segmented in a sense of normal sales versus distressed sales, short sales, bank foreclosures, etc. What I did in this report is I broke it down based upon sales price because we have a very segmented market in terms of sales price. And so as you can see in these towns here, I broke down and I categorized our segments based upon a percentage of where median is. So in this chart, you can see I've got the median sales price for the second quarter of 2017, and then I have what the absorption rate for homes that sold below median sales price, what the absorption rate is for homes that sold between median sales price and 2 times median, and then finally what the absorption rate is for homes that sold at 2 times plus median sales price. So, and as you can see, big disparity, right? We have like what I've described as a compression happening into market, whereby at the top end of most of these towns, we still have big inventories and a relatively flat market. Yet when we're at entry level, meaning everything that's at like median and below, we have an extremely fast moving market. So you can see some of these absorption rates: Linwood 4.7 months, Northfield 3.5, Summers Point 2.9. Like crazy. Like they're down in a seller's market type of a dynamic. Let me just bring back that other bar graph that was on the first slide. Right, so less than 6 months seller's market, homes have a tendency to appreciate. Right, so fast moving market in those segments. When we look at where the market is, right, even into the townships, Egg Harbor Township, 3.8 months supply below median. Galloway Township, Hamilton Township, really, really fast moving markets with prices starting to. So if you've been a buyer at entry level, you've probably noticed over the course of the last 4 months, 6 months, maybe even like 9 or 12 months, you found yourself in a competitive environment dealing with multiple offers and in some cases seeing prices sell for over the asking price. That's exactly the reason why you're seeing this happen. Really, really strong demand, really low supply. It's just math. When you move above median, right, median to 2 times median, the market's improved greatly over the course of the last 9 months. These numbers have dropped dramatically down into some towns are approaching a balanced neutral market. Some towns are still dealing with a little bit of inventory to sell off. But in general, a strongly improving market. That market has been challenged over the course of the last couple of years because, again, just understanding the natural movements of the market. We have a market where there's a lot of demand at entry level, but that normal natural upward movement that a normal real estate market will see, whereby you've got like a family taking a step up, because we have 1 out of 4 now, between 1 out of 4 and 1 out of 5 homes that's selling today is in a distressed situation. That means that's 1 out of 4 buyers that would make a normal natural upward movement are removed from the equation because it's either a bank, somebody coming in on a short sale, to somebody that's not in a position to take that natural upward movement. So naturally, that's what happens is we have a compression, little less demand, absorption rates start to climb a little bit. When you get up into that next bump up, 2 times plus median, and then above, same thing. We've got thinning demand, increasing inventories or maintaining high levels of inventory, and we've got some higher numbers in those markets. So as we move down into the seashore communities, you're finding similar patterns with the absorption rates as you move from below median to between median and 2 times, and then above and then 2 times plus median, what I'll categorize as like the luxury end of the market. And then we can see that on clearly on this slide. So like this is an important part of the pricing conversation that we'll have day in and day out with sellers to make sure that we're understanding like how we're positioning ourselves to give ourselves the best opportunity to be sold. If there's any questions, I've included in the link in the video a link to this landing page so you can see for yourself, take a look at the numbers. If you have any questions regarding any of our methodology, the kind of the science or the reasoning behind why we look so closely at these kind of numbers, please don't hesitate to reach out to myself or any of our group here. We're happy to help you understand so that you can, our goal, as I say here, is that you can make the most informed and best educated decision possible regarding certainly a very valuable assets. So I thank you for taking a few minutes and look forward to having an opportunity to certainly help you as we move into the second quarter. We've got like back to school week, I guess, is this week or next week. And so historically, we enter our second big selling season of the year residentially, right? In the first half of the year, we typically have a strong spring. Then ordinarily we have a little bit of a quiet summer, and then we kind of bolster up as we typically once the kids go back to school, I almost reference it as like a switch gets turned back on, and the buying demand resurfaces as we get into September, October. Prior to the fourth quarter. So again, thank you very much. Any questions? We're here. Certainly, we look forward to being a part of your family's move as we get into the last third of this year of 2017. Thanks again. Have a great day.